Okay, so you guys asked for it, the newer insurance agents that wanted the advice. This is what I would recommend. These are the steps that I would take becoming a new agent on some things that will make you ultimately successful. Yes, I am eventually one day, I'm working on it in my head and I want to put it on paper. I bought a website for it. I am creating and will create a how to build an agency, become a better sales agent. The insurance industry, I've been doing it 10, 12, 13, about 11 years, almost 12. So I've been doing it 12 years, has sold several, probably if I had to guess, close to $5 million worth of business and growing. And I'm actually working on possibly doing a new agency program. So I actually might grow an agency as well on the side. It's something that's in the works and we're trying to figure that piece out. Anyways, starting off as a new agent, here's the things that you should focus on the most. One, if you're not licensed, don't even bother here. Like, go watch a video I made about getting licensed. I would focus on that 100% and watch the videos that I made about the career, whether the income works, whether you want to be an A player or a B player, and really focus on that. So once you've gotten licensed and you're ready to go, you need to determine whether you're going to be an A player or B player. If you're part-time, you're not an A player in my book. You just don't have time. It takes availability, not focused work. It takes both, but you really just need to be ready for the phone to ring when that guy calls at 5:45 at night or 6:15 at night and you're working late because you're working on other leads. Those are your A players. They're willing to come in early if need be, willing to stay late if need be, not at request. These are things that they chose to do because they have a goal and that's where they're focused. They have their blinders on and they're moving forward. If you don't get that reference, really quick, it's a horse. That's why they put the blinders on the side. If the horse sees a lot of movement, mouse, I don't know what the case is, that's an elephant, but they see stuff that happens, they get startled and they jump and run. So that's what we say, put your blinders on so you can't see that wide angle field of view. You've got to learn to say no to a lot of different things and just focus to go forward. Those are your A players, and if you're looking to be that person, that's the first things I would focus on, is to really be available. Now, if you're part-time, that doesn't mean you can't make it. You're not going to necessarily not be successful. It's just, it depends on what your income is based on. If you're based on commission, which you'll watch this video here to see all of the availability that I talk about, but if you're not based on commission, then you've got an open playing field. You get to practice on someone else's money. The odds of you making enough commission on a part-time piece to go forward is very low in my opinion. The next thing I would focus on is to really hammer down leads. If you don't have any and you can't afford them, then you need to go out and find people to talk to. The people that you need to talk to are mortgage brokers. I don't know why, but a lot of insurance agents think that real estate agents are the ones they want. And maybe they are to get in the door, but a real estate agent doesn't do much for you unless they're willing to send you all of their clients that they're shopping houses. That's a really good agent. Most of the time, it's the mortgage broker that is going to give you the most bang for the buck because it's a cycle. The real estate agent is chasing the insurance people because the insurance people have a lot of people that they know when they're shopping for houses. And the insurance people are chasing the mortgage broker because they are the ones that are doing the loans, and that's the perfect time to shop. And that's the best way to get their loan cheaper. If I can save you $500, that'll lower your debt to income ratio, and that will gain me a customer, but it'll also gain him or her a happier client because they're saving the money, and that customer will ultimately win because they get a lower APR in their house. And that person is chasing the real estate agent because they want the agents to give all of their people to them. It's a cycle, right? Those are the three pieces, or four if you add the customer in the middle. They're the focus of it all, but these are the three pieces that share. Now, as an agent, be willing to give the leads away. If you need a mortgage broker and you have people that you find, anyone that can shop a house, you need to be willing to pass any lead that you're working on, whether you've sold them or not. Say, hey, I also have a guy I work with that does mortgage loans if you're looking to refinance your house or da-da-da-da-da. I know you're kind of pitching that, but it could just be in an email. Sending those off to those people, whether they've given you anything or not. You got to give and give and give, and eventually they will start to come back and give back to the point where they're giving so much more that you can't keep up with it. Now, that's the dream of it all. That takes years of work. So you got to start somewhere. That's the first part. The side piece is to market. If you can only afford 10%, focus that 10%, buy what you can. It's a test and try market. There is no good lead source that I've seen. I've worked with multi-million-dollar companies, multi-billion-dollar companies, multi-$100 companies, whatever you want to say. I've dealt with a lot of different leads, and every time, same story. I actually help funnel leads with my current system, our current company, and there's always what we call the bottom of the barrel. And that's where this lead source was amazing, and then all of a sudden you're scraping up just what's left. And those people are great people probably in the world, but on the phone, it doesn't seem like it. They're the Born to Lose tattoo on their arm, and they just don't care. Now, that's not always the case. I don't want to put those people in a bad light because they could be great people, but they also could have been called 28 different times by 17 different companies because one shady company sold their info to another shady company, and then they just spread that lead out to thousands of companies, and it's to the point where they want to change their phone number. That happens. I feel bad for them, but if you buy it as a lead, you got to scrub it and then move on. That's all you really need to know right now as far as focusing on. This is more of the agent sales portion. If you're looking more of the agent growth portion as far as like the business side goes, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon. I likely will be announcing some things that I'm doing going forward, so you guys might be interested in that part of it, and maybe we can kind of show you some growth together. I don't want you guys to negate the one major piece apart from all this. This is more of the how to grow, how to sell, how to grow through sales, how to fail forward. Good book, go buy it. Failing Forward, Norman Vincent Peale, I think. I'm not 100% sure. And How to Win Friends and Influence People. Companies were built off of that book, by the way. 2 great books. What I would do is I would do that, fail forward, grow, learn as you go. If you haven't memorized the coverage, then you need to know the coverages and what they mean, what they do, all of it. You need to figure that piece out. What's bodily injury, what's uninsured motorist, what's property damage. Here's kind of a cheat video for that, but learn it very, very in depth. There's also a home video 101 on all of that stuff too. Some bonus material if you stayed this far. Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to give you guys some extra super important information. So some tips. Underwriters can change anything. They don't write the rules, but they enforce them. They determine what risk is worth it. If the rule says no, but an underwriter says yes, they're good. Stamp of approval. You get them to write it on the policy though. Make sure they make notes. So don't always say no for the situation. If you know it's a no, then it's a no. But if you're kind of on the fence, like, oh, this is kind of borderline, this is a little bit different. I mean, this guy's got his home and auto, but he's got this canine that likes to snap at people. Can we exclude the dog? Yes. Or no. And you just got to put that shot out there and let the underwriter decide, because I've had so many times where people are like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. That's completely against the rules. I've called an underwriter. They approve it. It's good to go. We've done the risk correctly and it's good. So once the underwriter has proved whatever the case is, if they see it's a good risk, then you're clear. Like, don't hesitate to do that because it's a good risk. If you think it's a bad risk, then you may want to follow your gut on that and work with the clients that you feel like you should be good with, that you're fit for, because you're just doing them a disservice if you pull them in the door just to kind of throw them to the side and hope they stay around. Now, I get that. Most of you are going to do that. It's just they're going to need a lot more handling and a little bit of head bunting with you. So it's going to be more work than you think it is in the future versus just getting them on the books. Bonus tip number 2 is listen to your calls every single day. Until you can sell perfectly or you feel like you're doing really well, you need to download those calls. They're usually recorded, and listen to them constantly. If you don't have access to them, ask somebody who is above you to give you access so that you can get better as you go. Find a coach that will help you learn through those and work through those. Practice with somebody. If you want to truly get better at that, it doesn't happen overnight. I know when I train new reps, we do call after call after call after call. And even at the end, it's never perfect. we try to memorize a script, and then once we've learned the script, we try to break off little pieces to where our personalities fit. But you've got to have a foundation first, and then learn from your mistakes or learn from the different types of people you're talking to. Just know, not one personality is out there. We call them birds, so there's owls, dove, peacocks, and eagles. And we use every one of those depending on our talking path, which one we're talking to. I'll make another video on that specifically, but if you want to try to search it up, I think it's called the DOPE personality test, or DOPE personalities. And it's similar to a lot of other ones, it's just more of a bird style type, and it tells you who's more analytical versus who's more upfront versus who's more emotional and wants to like understand that you understand them and things like that. I'll make a video on that in the future, so if you guys want to learn more about that, otherwise you can search YouTube. There's bits and pieces of it out there. I don't think there's a full tutorial that I've found that has helped very well. All in all, you just need some practice. You need to give it some time and determine whether you're going to be successful. The third bonus tip is if you don't have the personality, not all of us do. I've got a great example, can't share names, but I have a guy that didn't really have it. It wasn't quite, there's no enthusiasm, there wasn't excitement, but he took the advice that I gave him to where you have to have one of two things, where you either have to have the knowledge, which he has, he's got it, he's done really well, and he's crushing it right now. He's doing really well because he created importance. You ever talk to a guy where he's like, yeah, but you buy from that guy because he knows what he's doing, and it almost feels like he doesn't need me. He knows how this works. Like, he's gonna help me. This is the guy I want. So that's one personality, or you just gotta do a lot of volume. And this guy's doing both. I think he's got the knowledge, he's doing the volume, and he's doing great off of it. So if you don't have the personality, or you don't have that, go ahead and work on it. Like, how can you emphasize things in different ways? If I'm just talking about, the insurance policy should be, it's about $895 a year. Okay. Do you drive your car normally? Okay, yep. And do you normally do this? What is that? That's the one personality versus, okay, so you normally drive your car how many thousand miles? 8,000 miles a year. Okay, great. And you do this. Okay, great. Yep. All right. And so yeah, we're actually looking at it's like $895 a year. Okay, perfect deal. Notice those different personality types and determine which type you are. There's 1,000 more things I could teach you. I hope this was helpful. Subscribe if you guys want more of this. Let me know in the comments below if it is helpful and if you want more of these videos going forward. I have another channel that I don't do this on that I thought about separating it. So if you think that might be better advice instead of mixing the coverages and the companies with this channel, I'd love to hear your opinions. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.